ESPN pundit, friend of the program. He was boots, loafers on the ground yesterday at the Jets and Giants training camp, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, potentially tassels. No socks either. Just oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing better. Great Wi-Fi today. Feeling good.
Yeah, well, not only great Wi-Fi today, you've had a great morning. Hey, you have crushed this morning. And how good does it feel? Back in there in New York, we're mingling. We're at Jets Giants training camp. We're down in New York City at the ABC News studios down there for us. Now we're in our basement here doing the entire conference. It feels like we're all the way back in the football season, Trace. Is that how you're feeling?
It absolutely does. And I'll tell you, just getting one day yesterday, just boots on the ground, seeing the Jets and Giants hit.
Boots.
You smell it. It's good. Like, we're back. And I know it's a few weeks away, but these inter camp practices that are going on all week, whether it be Philly taking on the Browns, whether it be the Colts and what they're doing with the Packers, whoever's playing right now.
Of course.
I've heard from so many coaches, this is better than the preseason. These practices, the ones versus ones in front of the fans, this is the stuff where you're actually hitting and you're encouraging them to. Yeah. And it's a test of strength. Like, I'll tell you, Pat, I get excited. It's early, but like, the Jets' strength of their team is the offensive line. They have all these first-round picks. The Giants' strength of their team is their defensive line. They were hitting the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go.
We like to see the boys hit each other.
Yeah.
Out there in New York. You were Giants faithful or Jets? I don't remember. Giants, right?
I grew up a Giants fan, but I am impartial now, my friend. I like all 32 teams. And we like to talk about
of course you do. Yeah, shaking hands. Not a human in there. No, you can't have any rooting interest in it all. Okay, so let's go to the complete opposite side of the country. And this is where I want to start with you, strictly because I know how close you are to the entire situation. We all do. Matthew Stafford in this immortal portal, and then him missing things where they're saying he's going to be him being in street clothes, and then obviously this lingering as long as it has. Once again, we're still 3 weeks and a day from kickoff on a Thursday night in Philadelphia. There's still a lot of time for a lot of things to happen. This seemingly lingering longer than any of us could have imagined, but the messaging is if there was to be a game tomorrow, he would play. What is the situation with Matthew Stafford as you know it, and how does Coach McVay feel going into the season about it all?
He's 37 years old, so there's nothing he's going to learn in this training camp that he hasn't done, right? He's going to do it. There's not going to risk an injury with him in training camp. That said, 2 weeks ago, I said I had zero concern about any of this. Last week, I said if 1 to 10, I'd say 1. We're now 3 weeks and 4 days from opening day, and they play a good Texans team opening day with a good front seven. Like, I'd like to see him throw. You know, there was an expectation that he was going to play Monday. Obviously, he doesn't. The thing I'm hearing is this. They're being ultra cautious. And that Matthew, if it was up to him, would probably be out there. But they are not risking anything. He's had some pain. They're just going to let him sit until he feels he's fully ready, until they feel he's fully ready. Best doctors in the world out there with that team, best trainer in Reggie Scott. But the question is, does he eventually get some reps in practice before week 1? Because as great as we might think on paper it all is, and as amazing as he was in the June and May months, we'd like to see it in August just for our comfort from the outside looking in. I don't get the sense that they're concerned about week 1. I do get the sense that they were happy with how the offense looked with Jimmy Garoppolo, if just in case they had to go that way. Everyone I spoke to from who was there, they sliced and diced up that Dallas defense, and Jimmy was at quarterback during the intercamp scrimmages. So it's going to be an interesting one, but they're not panicking yet. Sean's not panicking. Front office isn't panicking. And from what we know of Stafford, he is one of these guys that if he wanted to get out there, we know he could tough it out.
Yeah.
But that's not the answer you want to hear over an 18-week season with a bad back.
Yeah, it's Stafford with O-U-G-H in the middle there. We know how tough he is in its entirety. He has been. He and I and D-Butts actually drafted in the same class. This is my life. He's still doing the football. Go ahead, AJ.
Schrags, is there a possibility that Stafford wants to get out and he feels like he can practice and the Rams are just being very protective of him? They're trying to look out for his longevity. I know that's the thing. People think, how's this guy supposed to play, 18, 20 games hopefully this year? Yeah,
look, he hasn't said it outwards and the Rams haven't told me that, but the fact that he was throwing on Saturday and had a session where he threw the ball 60 times, just knowing Matthew, I think he would play if it was up to him. And he's being ultra cautious, but I'm sure that the trainers and the medical staff are the ones advising him here that no. Let's be ultra sure. Gets a little tricky on who wants to do what and who says what. But if it was week 1 tomorrow, I don't care what's going on. Matthew Stafford would have been out there.
Yeah, and Matthew Stafford is special. We're watching these highlights. The one where he's looking directly at the camera, and then
he's unbelievable.
It's against Eagles.
Eagles, yeah.
And he throws slant inside,
in
touchdown. This is deep play. Was that championship?
That was the divisional round.
Divisional round.
In the snow.
Yeah, that's playoff game. Very important. Just no look saucing at that point. It's like he is so talented. Such a good.
And we forget, like they did the top 10 list. Jeremy Fowler put out the top 10 quarterbacks, and a lot of people were like, Stafford's above Hurts, and I'm like. You could have your Hurts argument. Stafford is amazing. Let's not forget what Stafford did last year. And if they're all healthy this year,
we don't need to do this, Schrager. You're already you're hosted in First Take. You're hosting, and you're already doing it. You're already starting to just pin one against the other. Okay, obviously different situations. With that being said, here's what Peyton Manning had to say about Jalen Hurts when he was talking to Chris Collinsworth. He's on the PFF Plus pod, I do believe. And what Peyton has to say about Jalen at this exact moment is very, very fascinating, especially because of the whole, there's 2 camps, it feels like, on Jalen, which there probably always will be. Here's Peyton's thoughts on it.
I mean, it tells you all about his mental toughness, right? Because that's the kind of situation where it's embarrassing and you just don't sort of recover from it mentally or emotionally. So it tells you how mentally tough that, he is. And they said, he was the first guy to high five Tua in the locker room, and was as celebratory after that win as all the players that were involved in the game. And you're right. I mean, he's played so well in both those Super Bowls, but I like the way he goes about it. He calls me a lot. It asks me lots of questions. They actually run a lot of plays that we used to run, Sirianni to Frank Wright to Tom Moore, sort of that chain, and he calls me with very specific questions about certain plays. So he's a student of the game. As another example, you think, he squats 600 pounds. He can, run over guys. He can throw it a mile. But his appreciation of the cerebral part of the game is what's impressive to me, and how he's taken his game to the next level. And I think the sky's the limit with this guy.
I love to hear that. And obviously, I think Peyton probably enjoys the hell out of current quarterbacks calling and asking for help because he gets to nerd out at a level that only a few can really understand. I heard you, say he was the Super Bowl MVP, won a Super Bowl. He's not being disrespected or something. It's not about what he wins on the field. It's about how everybody talks about him, Shrakes. That's what we're doing in there. Do you feel that Jalen Hurts is always just going to be scrutinized? Just like Sirianni, seemingly. Always going to be scrutinized. Do you think that's just how it's going to be, and that's kind of what life is going to be like for him, even though some others might not experience the same?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him that he's surrounded by so much talent, and people look to that offensive line as the best in the league. They look at those 2 wide receivers as 2 of the best in the league, and they look at Saquon Barkley as the best running back in the league. So you take a look at this team, and he's the one who gets kind of notched below because 2,900 passing yards. He's not going to win you a fantasy championship. Yet I look at it, biggest games. Here's the guy outplaying Mahomes in 2 different Super Bowls. Here's a guy winning Super Bowl MVP, makes every big throw. He's had 6 different offensive coordinators the last 6 times he's taken the field for an NFL or college football team. So I think it's fair for both sides. I think you're allowed to say, hey, look, this guy might not be the first overall pick if I'm redrafting the NFL right now. And he might not be a top 5 quarterback if I'm redrafting my quarterbacks. But you can also say he has done everything you possibly could ask for, and that he is the perfect quarterback for that city, for that team, and for that coach. And you nailed it with Sirianni. I think if you polled all 32 NFL head coaches, hey, who are the coaches you respect the most in the league, or who's the coach that you think is tops in the game? I don't think they respect Sirianni either. I don't think he's viewed as a top 10 coach, despite all the success. I think they also hold the same stuff against him. But he's perfect for Philly. He's perfect for that locker room. And he is perfect for that quarterback.
That's so fascinating to hear about Sirianni and his peers, because you would think that they would appreciate somebody who acts like himself and has great success. But he probably tells them, hey,
too much
because there's a lot of that out of Sirianni.
Yeah, I bet he loves that.
The other coaches don't. Who cares?
Okay, I'll just go beat their ass on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, but you're a doofus.
They could say that, right? I think Jeremy Fowler did quarterbacks, wide receivers. I was like, I would love to do an anonymous poll, anonymous at the owners' meetings. 32 head coaches, vote on your peers.
You should.
1 to 32. Because we could do it in media and we could give Kyle Shanahan and McVay and all these guys their flowers. This guy Sirianni every year is in the playoffs, and the last 2 out of the 3 is finding himself in the big game. So I respect the hell out of him. I don't know if he gets the same respect amongst his peers that maybe he deserves.
The whole media is calling for his job after wins.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the whole.
Schrager knows a lot more head coaches than I do, but I think his peers respect him because they know what it takes, regardless of what type of talent you have, what type of players you have, where to get a group of guys to buy in, especially to talk about those wide receivers, they ran the ball more than they threw the ball. So those guys got to buy in.
They know it more than anybody else.
Howie does a great job running that team as well, so been on the same page with him. And then the different coordinators on both sides of the ball that he's had to deal with and manage. Like, I'm sure his peers have a high respect for that. Media, maybe not so much because day one, remember his first, you can't ever change the first
less thinking, more athlete take over.
But Pierce even too, though, with how many like older coaches have gotten back in, he still might not be top 10. Like some people might just, and granted, I mean,
I'd be curious.
I'm one of those people, but like Pete Carroll, he hasn't been in for a while, but Pete Carroll's back in football now.
So if they see his name on a list.
Exactly. I'm assuming people are putting Pete Carroll over.
Think about it.
Fangio went and worked for him. And then
you go through Mike Vrabel's a new coach. Everyone's going to say, well, Vrabel's one of those guys. You're going to put Sean Peyton. He's one of those guys. Pete Carroll. Well, he's one of those guys.
Andy.
You go down the list. Soon you're at 3, 4, 5, 6. Andy
of
Reid
them.
is definitely one of those guys. Like,
Yeah.
this is the way we talk about
So they're not going to do the actual vote.
They'll never do
That's
it.
what we're saying.
Who's 32?
Yeah,
Who's
it'll never. That's a fascinating.
Anonymous.
I would like my coach too.
I know 32.
I would like my coach.
Who?
No, I will never say.
Okay, good. I like that. That's part of the. That's good.
It's anonymous.
Yeah,
Amen.
we don't need to, but I would like my coach to abstain from doing anything anonymous. I would like the coach to say, "Nah, everything I do, I want my name on it." I would like that. I was approached to do an anonymous vote in the locker room one time, and I said, "Nah, I'd rather just put my name on it." And then they told me what it was. I was like, "I'm not doing that."
What was it for?
There was a vote on something. It's anonymous players were polled on something. It was like, how could this poll actually give proper context to what this situation is? Just so many things I hated about it. Like, let alone the anonymity about it. I don't like that at all. I don't like. Now, granted, I know there's safeness and like safety and wellness for whistleblowers. Okay, so
a little different.
I understand in the real world. I understand in the real world we need anonymity for things, but in sports, I really hate it. I don't like it. Now, I know it has to happen too, and I know agents are doing things, and there's always work, and there's leverage, and there's everything like that. I hate the anonymity. I know you're an Emmy Award-winning journalist.
No, I don't do it either. Hey, I don't do and I'll tell you what. I came out I came out of the gates, ESPN, shot out of a cannon draft time, and I was like, I don't have a team that has Shedeur Sanders as one of their top guys, and I got crushed for it. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're killing the kid. You're going to be wrong." And that's what I'll say. I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from teams. But I'm not going to be one who's going to say, "Hey, anonymous source tells me this about this locker room," or not, unless I feel like it's someone that's worth a damn. I'm not taking it from the equipment assistant to the regional manager, whatever it is. Like, it has to be on good stuff for me to go anonymous.
Yeah, those are the ones, actually.
They got their finger on the pulse.
The best poll we have now yearly with the NFL is the report cards, because we know it's coming from
the players
and the people in the building. Like, and it's not who's doing this.
And once again, congrats to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Right?
Doing it. Yep.
Cardinals went from F- on everything to at least couple C's and B's.
Right.
Hey, Bidwell.
Bidwell. Hey, our guy.
Love that.
We love that out of
Cincinnati.
Bidwell. Okay, let's talk about some football stuff, shall we? Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Schrags, do we have any kind of update on Terry McLaurin? We saw a picture from Commanders camp that him and Adam Peters were talking to each other. He looked pretty bummed out. Obviously a tough situation just standing there, but like what's going on here? I think everyone kind of assumed that this was going to get done at some point, and now we're 3 weeks and a day from the season starting and nothing's happening. Like, what's going on? They obviously need him if they want to replicate what they did last year.
They need him, but at what cost? I think it's a fascinating one here, because you can go in on Micah and Trey Hendrickson and you can talk about the numbers and APY and all this. Terry McLaurin is a fascinating case, and I talked about this weeks ago with you guys. It hasn't changed. in that he wants a certain number, and I don't know the exact number, but it's a certain number of a certain caliber of wide receiver, and it's in that range of guys where he and his agent believe he belongs and has put the time in and has earned it and is more than just a player. He's the locker room. He's the face. He's everything. And I think the Washington side of it is, let's be realistic here. He's this years old. What's he going to be ascending to? Are we paying him on past performance? Adam Peters was with the Niners when they went through some brutal negotiations, and they usually found a way before the season started. They usually got things done. I think Adam Peters will find a way to get it done with his agent, Buddy Baker, who's an Indianapolis-based guy.
Legend.
For many years. And, of course, Terry is an Indianapolis-based guy. But right now it seems like they're a bit apart, and the guaranteed money might be the aspect, or it might just be APY. Whatever it is, they're not willing to just say, you know what? The last 3 years we stunk, and you were the nicest guy, and you were the best guy, and you wore the C. We're going to reward you and then pay you on future. They want to pay him for what they think they're going to get in the future on that contract. And I don't know if they necessarily look at him as a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson type player.
Okay, so on that note, you think Terry was a Colts fan growing up?
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Man, it'd be great for him to come save the team.
That would be nice.
How great would Terry McLaurin be in the Indianapolis Colts locker room on that offensive side of the ball, legitimately, let alone playing ability, which is unbelievable. Maybe not Malik Neighbors, which I think Malik Neighbors is going to be great. Obviously, saw highlights. You told us with a straight face that Malik Neighbors ranked higher than.
I think he's there.
Yeah.
Bet you
I think
do.
he's there.
Non-biased.
I'm not. This isn't the New Yorker in me. I
Yeah.
think Malik Neighbors is viewed as a top tier, going to be one of those guys.
And Terry is. Terry already has been.
Already is.
Yeah, Terry, nonetheless. So media maybe views Terry a little bit different.
Media.
Yeah, media, as a whole. You representing them all. That's how we're going to treat you going forward. Here's Terry McLaurin as a child. Wait a second, the plot thickens.
Holy shit.
Now,
Yeah.
I would like to let the Washington Commanders know, okay, that I am just going to speak for one city. Okay, one
I think
team.
he can speak for about 10 of
I was
them.
going to say, I'd kill for the Packers to have it.
But I'm just adding in the fact that the Indianapolis Colts thing, like the narrative could easily be like, hey, brother, we need your leadership in this locker room. We need you in the weight. We need you. And that is how Terry is viewed, I think, by everybody, right?
Yes,
like, hey,
absolutely.
this guy is the locker room guy, the guy you want, leader, dog, and also will show up and compete. Like which is why I ask you this, Shrakes.
Yeah.
Is letting him sit out there with a hoodie on, looking like an asshole, a part of the leverage from the team? I do wonder with that. Like the hold-ins, making guys go stand out in front of their teammates, in front of the fans. Like media's obviously taking photos of them and just kind of doing it. I think that goes against a lot of what these guys are naturally, especially Terry. Like I think Terry does not want to be a distraction. I think Terry wants to be with his team. So it's like I wonder if that is utilized as a point of leverage. Like at some point he'll get sick of having to go out there and just stick out like a sore thumb, which I assume he does. How much is that chatted about, Shregs? Because that is something that never really gets talked about is like, I bet you Terry hates, just like Trey Hendrickson. Like they hate that this is a part of the entire game, I would assume.
They hate being fined even more. And if they're not there, they get fined real money, and those fees cannot be forgiven. Like they used to be, all right, hold out, and then when you come into camp, we'll pay it all back. Like that's the new CBA. Like that's it. You miss a day of practice, you are being fined, and you are going to pay for that. So he has to be there. So of course the team carries the weight. Everyone in the stands is watching him sit there with a hoodie on, and they're like, well, he's just signed a contract 2 years ago. Why is he not out there? He makes $25 million. Is that not? The narrative starts to turn every single day. You're not out there. That said, he's standing on business, and that's what the kids.
SOB.
SOB, shout, Pac-Man. That is literally what he's standing on right there. If you were to look at that particular picture right there, but yeah, I assume that I completely changed the way I view Jonathan Taylor with the way the entire thing went. And I assume Jonathan Taylor didn't love it at all, but we just had number 4 overall pick. You were one of the our team's not good, brother. You get paid a lot of money. And now you're with a new quarterback, new coach, new regime, new everything.
Need you out there.
Need you. Yeah, you're the best player.
Got to stand on business.
That's what he did. And he got rewarded for it. So that sets a precedent. That sets a precedent.
And maybe Terry does too.
For the rest of the team.
His deal is looking good, aging well.
Yes, it is.
I would say. But didn't Terry request a trade?
I don't like him.
Where are they at with that?
I don't know about all that.
I thought I saw that.
Are you making things up right now?
No, I thought he requested a trade.
Thought I saw that.
We're getting word from the back. He did request a trade. Whoa, did he?
I don't know that. Look, I know Michael Parsons did, wrote the biblical scrolls, the 10 Commandments, and actually came out and said publicly and did all that. I don't know if Terry is going to be as vocal about that. If he did make a trade request, it was behind closed doors via his agent, and it wasn't as public as what's going on between Jerry and Micah.
Okay, well, just Chris Ballard, why don't you go ahead and why don't you bring
kick the tires?
Why don't we go ahead and snoop around a little? Adam Schefter, July 31st. Terry McLaurin requested a trade, as Schultz Report also reported. Schultz got that one first, it sounds like.
Yeah,
so had to pay a little bit of respect.
Saw Schultz yesterday. He was at Jets Giants.
No shit. Yeah, that is. Yeah. If you were to tell me or ask me who is one person you think that is definitely at Jets Giants training camp,
gun to the head.
This is it. You get it wrong, you're dead.
Fate of the universe.
Can't say that about everyone. I saw Schultz. He was there. He's good. He's on the boots on the ground.
Of course he is. That's what Schultz does. But also,
shaking hands.
Exactly.
oh my God,
Kissing babies.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
the amount of friends, family friends that are roaming around down there that he has known his
Just
entire life.
report the facts. Schultz was there. That's all I'm saying.
Boots on the ground, Schultz. I think he's doing his own independent thing too, right?
He is,
So he had to get in that door by himself. Good for him, man. Well,
He's independent. Fine.
Eventually.
I don't think he kicked that thing down. I think he maybe made a call or two, and they, rolled the red carpet out. But
Still got it done.
still there.
Got it
Still
nonetheless.
there. Still there, which we love. That's what we love about him.
Yeah.
Let's do a little inside information stuff, What's going on in the state of cheese? Go ahead, AP Tone.
Yeah, Schrags, we're talking about teams that could use wide receivers potentially. The Green Bay Packers wide receiver room is currently a walking morgue. It feels like they have a wide receiver dropping every single day.
Sheesh.
Also, what? What was that?
No, go ahead.
Also, their quarterback is having surgery on his left hand, the non-throwing hand. What do we think the panic level right now is in Green Bay?
Look, I will say this. A lot of people are like, oh, it's his non-throwing hand. It's not great. It's not fatal. It's not something that's like, oh, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. But to not have Jordan Love in practice because of a non-throwing hand, or to not have him being his full, that's not great to have that in mid-August. Now, last year, they go week 1. He gets hurt on that surface down there in Brazil. Comes back, and you could argue the entire season. He came back very soon. Got back on the field quicker than a lot of people anticipated, played through injury, got them to where they were, and maybe the whole season wasn't the same way as it should have been if he was just healthy week 1. You don't want to always have but with the quarterback. Now, this was an avoidable thing, whatever it is. The wide receivers room sounds like injuries here, issue here, whatever you got over there. It still don't feel like, all right, go Packers, whereas you wanted to come into this season humming on all things. Look, the response from Golden so far has been unbelievable. Jordan Love has talked glowingly of him. This is the first time they've got this guy. Is he a blue chipper? I think we're putting him on that mantle right now. We're putting him in that spot. I think we've got to see it before we say, oh, the Packers are this much better on offense this year because they got Matthew Golden. We'll see.
No, yeah, I agree on all points. The thing I won't panic about, Josh Jacobs is going to get 400 carries this year.
That's your guy.
And he didn't play, and their O-line's very good. So as long as Josh Jacobs doesn't, break his foot, break his leg or something like that. But, yeah, that's why the Terry McLaurin thing, because they always talk about, hey, this great group of young receivers. It's like, well, maybe, just maybe, they need a good veteran in there to kind of coach these guys up and tell them what needs to happen to be a good receiver in this league.
I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, Schrags. It might not matter with what's going on in Green Bay or Minnesota or Chicago. Have you heard Motor City Dan Campbell's conversation with Brad
Galley, I believe.
Galley, not Brad Holmes, good legend.
Say Smith.
Brad Galley, local media in Detroit. Listen to this. They got 2 new coordinators. They got a lot of change. They got a lot of... MCDC still exists.
Is there a bit of an edge to you at all this year with so much written about the coordinators leaving? An edge to you maybe to prove to everybody that
Brad
you're still the head
good.
coach of this team, that you're still at the helm of this for 5 years, and that there shouldn't be concern?
Well, I think, man, it's not hard for me to find things that can drive you. I feel like that's the world we're in. That's how I was as a player. That's how I am as a coach. I'll pull anything negative because it motivates me. So I would be lying if I said no, that
that doesn't get me going a little bit. That's the next challenge. So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
Like, Ben's great. Aaron's great.
No doubt.
But is there part of you that says, I've been here the whole time steering this ship as well?
Well, I think the important thing is, and what I wanted to start this thing off with, and us and the group of people we're with, is, man, it takes a village. And if you want your team to play like a team, then we have to function like a team as coaches, as GM, head coach, ownership, management. And I think that's important. So what we do as a team. And I've said this before, man, if I really did this right, I should be able to just leave and these guys don't miss a beat.
Incredible answer there by MCDC and the culture he is built or trying to build. We shall see how this year goes. Nobody really talking about the Detroit Lions. Schrags, what are your thoughts?
I think there are a lot of interested parties on how those new coordinators do perform. And I think it really goes to John Morton, who's a guy who's been coaching the league for 30 years and was maybe a surprise pick to be the new offensive coordinator. Of course, he had history with Dan Campbell. But, if you're telling me Ben Johnson is the greatest offensive genius of the last decade, and they had all these things that have been coming out of this team with the Penei Sewell running in motion and Jahmyr Gibbs being used 100 different ways and J-Mo and what they got with Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're taking him out of the equation and you're replacing him with a new coach. I think it's fair to question how that dynamic is going to go. And it's amazing because here's Jared Goff, who has been to a Super Bowl, has been to two NFC championship games, had the number 1 seed last year, has the mega contract, is an all Pro Bowl, all pro guy. And yet, year 10, people are like, is Jared Goff good enough to do this without Ben Johnson? They all have massive chips on their shoulders. And I can't come here on August 14th or whatever day it is and tell you
13th, it's Author Tone Day.
I can't come here and tell you with confidence that this offense isn't going to miss a beat. I just can't. Because I don't know what it is. And I think Ben Johnson is that good. So all the pressure does go back onto Jared Goff and Dan Campbell. And let that motivate you guys. But, gosh, Ben Johnson was a very big piece of this revitalization. We cannot just erase him from the history.
Yeah, so is Aaron Glenn. I mean, you start doing those conversations, you start thinking about how great these guys are, but this is what good teams have to deal with. And you talk about great teams have to deal with. And if you talk about Sirianni's kind of respect level amongst his peers, he's lost his coordinators and had to do this. Patriots, I don't know if it didn't really happen often to you guys.
Coordinators, it did early, and then after, then it kind of started to turn where everyone was like, Bill's assistants suck. And then
you're right, Mangini and Cleveland.
But like McDaniels, Flores, Mangini,
Romeo Crennel,
Schwartz, Crennel. Like there were a few.
And some people would credit Vrabes, even though he played there, he didn't really coach for.
Yeah, he didn't really coach there, but he still will get like, well, he learned a lot from Bill.
They give that's his tree. Andy Reid, they got the same coordinators. Well, they got all Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah, Tobe.
Lost Nagy for a couple of years, came back. Spags, 0 head coaching interviews all last offseason, despite having the best defense in the league when it mattered and wanting to maybe get a look to be a head coach. The NFL, the rest of the 31 other owners, they know better. They don't need to interview Sag. They don't need to interview Spags.
Yeah, sir, you've already had opportunity. We don't need to do that again. You're right where you're.
I got heated on this one.
You love Spags, huh? So do we.
That's my guy. And the way that players respond to him is like no other. He is as great a leader of men in this league as there is, and 31 other teams just think, we're good. We're gonna not even interview the guy. We're good. We're fine. Whatever.
Andy Reid, Hall of Famer. Tobe, Hall of Famer, special teams, and then Spags, Hall of Famer on defense as coordinators, and they're all back again.
They got Mahomes.
And and Travis Kelce, and 7:00 tonight.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's on new heights, Shregs. Yep, set the alarm. Yeah, we are. I don't know what you're doing, Shregs. I don't know what you're doing right there. I don't know what that was, but you need to check your reactions before whatever they are.
You think it breaks all time?
Yes.
144 million?
Yeah, I don't think there's really a question.
What's all time, though? Sports? Because, didn't Trump do one with Joe Rogan? I feel like that's a pretty monster podcast.
And maybe their entire average will jump enough for them to get an entire average boost that's insane, which they will for sure.
Did you see they released the stats after this was announced? They picked up like 100-some thousand or 200-some thousand followers on Instagram.
What's that gigantic number? Everybody sees that The Rock has like 150 million or something like that, and they're like, wow, that's what a lot of followers are. It's like 100,000, 200,000 new subs before something is even out is a gigantic movement. That is a big needle move.
And then it was subscription to the podcast went up like 21,000% or something like that from where it was like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, so Rogan does so many people every show. I mean, it is grotesque what he does. There's also some others. I believe Caller Daddy has massive numbers.
Have you gone on that yet?
On what?
Caller Daddy? Or no?
No, I've not.
You haven't done that?
She's a dog, though. She's a beast. She's a beast, man. Yeah, absolute beast. I got a lot of respect for anybody that is able to do in this world. And I say this in a different way. But yeah, that is gigantic. This is what you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I hope she spills some business in there. She is a beast. Work ethic, behind the scenes. I watched that documentary with my wife of her. Completely different view of Taylor Swift. And people hate her for whatever reason. You know, she's the biggest star on earth, so people are going to hate her. The more people that know you, the more people naturally that aren't going to like you. But what an absolute goat roaming around. And then Travis, obviously, what a superpowers coming together type thing. And remember, they weren't actually in love. This was fake.
Yeah.
This was an industry plant of
We
a
saw the
relationship.
breakup letter.
Yeah, exactly. Saw the whole thing. Now they're doing this. It's like, I'm a big fan. And I believe Travis on our show said he invited to the game. I think, like, there is a part of our show that's part of their story. So I always was hoping that they were legit, and I think they're perfect for each other straight.
You know what was cool?
I think
No, it really showed me a lot about her. Obviously, you don't need my validation, but when she starts playing
Me neither,
at tight end university, and she's up there and starts performing for the Dan Orlovskis and all the guys that are in there. Like she don't. This isn't. She's not selling out. You know, the Tokyo Dome here. She's playing at some honky tonk in Nashville. For a bunch of tight ends talking about wheel routes. I'm like, all right, she's good by me. I like that.
Yeah, and I think there was a little bit of booze maybe too. There was a little bit of party. And then the band also, like her walking around saying hello, telling them, hey, we're playing blah, blah, blah. It's like the amount of talent that is just on display in front of you. Yeah, that's a cool thing. That is a very cool relationship that's happening during our lifetime. People hate it. There's some people. And Taylor pokes fun at that, actually. Oh, I know a lot of male sports fans are really going to love seeing more of me, especially on this podcast.
That was good.
Yeah, it was a good little little thing there early. I like it. I like what they're doing. What is she going to say in there? TS12, I guess, is the new era. It's a new album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life of a
Songwriter or something?
Showgirl. Have a little respect, please.
Get it right.
Jeez Louise, boy.
I mean, that's not disrespectful. I'm not a diehard Swiftie. I like her music, but I'm not.
Did you open your phone, though, just in the last, 2 days?
Yeah, I saw it, but I'm not committing it to memory. Like, oh, it's her next album, you know?
Okay, Life of a Showgirl?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay,
Not a tortured poet.
You got too much already in here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have any room.
I know. I'll make some more space. I'll download the album. Sure, of course. I'm not committing the name of the album to memory. I'm sorry. Right now, or probably when it comes out.
What about a 12-12 on the 12th?
That is cool. I like that gimmick.
How about a little Easter egg, the gimmick, the scavenger hunt type?
Very cool. She gets it.
Very committed to that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Setting stuff up for that.
Long time.
Is she still the number one dog, though? Like, I felt like this summer there was a lot of Chapel Roan and there's
Peter,
Olivia Rodrigo.
you water your mouth.
Pink Pony Club in the
You're going to bring up Taylor down to Chapel Road.
Does she have
It's
a
the next
chip on
name
her?
out of your mouth.
You need to just
Does
understand.
she have a chip on her shoulder? You know,
Oh, Taylor?
Good Lord.
Yes, she has a chip on her
Mahomes?
shoulder. Always. She's one of them.
Mahomes spent the whole.
She is Everest.
She is them.
She is the mountain.
Sure, I can't believe you just did that.
How dare you doubt our queen?
I almost want to end this conversation. We had one more question.
We
about-
like Chapel Road, too.
Yes,
we
big-
are big
That
fans.
Big
My
Pony
daughter.
Club?
Yeah,
my
Big
daughter.
Pony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great song.
We're talking about Taylor Swift,
Talking
brother.
about, yeah. There's levels to this shit.
Good,
bro.
I get it.
Okay.
Dude,
No,
I
you
get
don't.
it. I'm not questioning
Sounds
her.
like
I'm
you
asking if
Jeez.
right now are the kids in this moment are they listening to Taylor or have they moved on because it's been a year since the last album and she's like I'm gonna go re-get my
Dude,
phone.
All right.
they don't move
We
on.
appreciate you, Shregs.
I got nothing.
We do. Are you talking about 10-year-olds? Maybe their first album will be TS12. Guess what? They're in.
Lifetime.
Just
fan.
like every other generation.
And what
Gen
are they
Alpha?
doing? If
Gen Alpha
Yeah.
will be in.
TS12 is the first album they're listening to, guess what they're doing? They're not waiting for 13.
No.
They're going to 11.
All the record that she had already are about to
Yes.
get broken again because Gen Alpha's coming in.
And she owns all
Going back to that love story.
Two different
Going right back.
Yeah.
You're feeling 22 all of a sudden, aren't you, Shregs? This is outstanding. Seriously, to watch you kind of live through this with us. But you need to check yourself. We think tonight's numbers on New Heights will be record-breaking.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think it will be record-breaking. Warranted, though. I'm excited to hear what happens. I'm excited to hear how it goes. We will say this, though, Shregs.
Yeah.
Having you on our show is like our Taylor Swift.
Man,
Yeah.
come on.
Right, Foxy?
Amen.
Well said.
I mean, I would argue he is more the Chapel Roan and like Michael Lombardi's our Taylor Swift, but I understand what you're saying.
Michael Lombardi.
That is a
Why
valid.
laugh so hard?
What you're,
I mean, it kind of came to me right
yeah,
there.
that is a. But that's good. Hey, that's,
Love Pink Pony Club. I love Pink Pony
I
Club.
love that Pink Pony Club. Love it.
But we're in the same. Yeah, that is the same. Think highly of both.
Yes,
good company
Both
to keep.
superstars.
Both.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmy Award winner. New Swiftie, I guess. This guy's not a Swiftie.
I'm a Swiftie.
He's not.
I don't know if he's winning any
I
awards
am.
now that he claimed.
Yeah, that's a bad idea, brother. Wrong side.
August. I love that stuff, man.
Song.
The song.
He heard Aaron say that in an answer. You remember Aaron said that
yeah.
to Jets
Yep.
on social media. That is where he heard that exact answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter, that is, yes, it is. It's Peter Schrager.
Yeah,
I heard that.